we're going to do an exploration of using CRM accounts in creative ways to communicate with people in the way they need to be talked to about their situation. So, CRM Frontier, pioneering strategies for timely local communications. How could one Pony Express rider deliver the right message to each and every person he encountered on his route? The roundup. This here problem we got, where we started, how the trails played out, and let's see it in action. So let's say you're in the Old West and you got to send out wanted posters to different cities. There's 3 bars in there, or 3 saloons in their respective cities, and there's 25 to 100 people that hang out at each, and they need to know about the bad guys in their town. So you got to send out wanted posters. You can send out 3 the first month, 3 the next month, 3 the next month. Not a big deal. What does a wanted poster look like? For purposes of this conversation, we're going to say that it says Bill's Saloon and Sarah Sundance Sykes, One-Eyed Willie McGraw, Blackjack Boone Cassidy. And then at Chuck's Wagon, in the town it's in, you've got Eleanor Ellie the Ember, Gentleman George Montgomery, and Twister Turner. And then at Annie's Honey Stop, you got Maggie Mad Dog Doyle, Lucky Liam O'Sullivan, and Josiah the Preacher Pike. Okay. So you're sending these out. Your business scales up to 12 or 15 cities, so you got a little more work to do. How would you go about doing this? I imagine there are a lot of people watching this thinking they would do it with tags and segments. And that is one way to do it, but it doesn't scale well when you get high numbers. You would use dynamic content where you're creating a box for every city, but you have to have 50 boxes in an email or 15 boxes in an email. I do love dynamic content though for upsell boxes. Oh my God, they're lovely. Person's not tagged as a buyer, show them this box kind of a thing. You could also manage a team of VAs and pull your hair out in the process and go crazy. What I would recommend doing is using accounts, and we're going to explore that here in just a minute. So if you're on tags and segments, tell me when you're ready to do 50 of those a day or a week or whatever to manage that data. There's just going to be a lot of sending going on, a lot of headache managing that. Quick segue, who's the voice behind the video? My name is Robert Segelquist. I am an ActiveCampaign super user as well on the customer advisory board. I've been an ActiveCampaign user for 4 or 5 years. I've been a super user for about 3 years now. I'm on the advisory board for the 23-24 session. And I just love ActiveCampaign. I'm a nerd. I dive in and do wild, crazy things with it. You'll see me in the Facebook group. You'll probably see me answer your question with a question, and you wonder why. And it's because I'm trying to make sure that I understand the question you're trying to ask. I don't know. So anyway, that's that. I've handled accounts up to several million people, down to a couple hundred or 1,000, all points in between. And I just really love making technology do wonderful things and make our lives easier, tying Zapier in, doing database management stuff to make stuff easier, which is part of this project. Real world example for this process we're talking about. Crawl with us. They're a bar crawl company based up in St. Paul, Minnesota. They've got a team of 7 or 8 people in the office. They manage bar crawls in over 200 cities across the country. So each of those bar crawls has a different date and time, has different check-in locations, has different after-party locations, the specials for the bars that are going to be on the bar crawl, the purchase link, Facebook event link, the map links. All these things have to be accounted for. There's 66 account fields, and I'll show you some of these later for each event. So St. Patty's is coming up. They do Halloween, St. Patty's, Christmas, etc. There's 66 fields for each of those events we have to maintain. I think there's 389 accounts, or they're all active, but I mean, there's 200 cities they're working in right now actively. So that's 1,200 fields, 1,200 values just for one event. Quick plug for ChatGPT, talk about time saving. It actually wrote the name and description of this spiel. It talked about the 9 bad guys. It generated the 50 bar names. It also generated, I'm going to show you some use cases here in a minute, and it generated those. So a quick plug for that. If you're not using it, time savings, you should be using it. Yeah, we'll move on. So other use cases where this makes sense. A sports league. So also note, this is really good for hard wall things. So when somebody is only in one thing, you can only be on one sports team. Technically, you could be on two in a junior league, but theoretically, you're only going to be on one. So each team would be an account. A college or university would use accounts for freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. You can use tags for major or interest clubs and send them that way, like kind of we're talking about tags and segments. Send those out that way. Travel agencies, primary interest. So somebody who's a snow, beach, or mountains person could be grouped together. Most recent trip type. Maybe, use the same thing, but just the most recent one they would be assigned to. Service providers. If you're a SaaS like ActiveCampaign, you have the marketing plan, the sales plan, the combined plans. Each of those would be an account, and the way we're going to explore it, marketing agencies that have silver, bronze, and gold packages could clump their people together that way. Event planning committees, clump people by location or by event, and then local government or community organizations would be able to segment residents by their neighborhood name, something like that. So what does this actually look like so it's not quite as abstract? We have, I filtered this down to people that were on St. Patty's. There's 389 total, I think, city accounts. But the account name is the city. And then you can see we've got 2,300 in Charleston. We've got 25,000 in Minneapolis, 1,300 in Washington, Tulsa, Cleveland, whatever. The list goes on. Grand Rapids has 12,700. So here, there's 2,397 buyers, bar crawlers that live in Charleston that have bought a ticket in a past event. So that's what you're looking at here. They get assigned. This, you may or may not be using Eventbrite, whatever your process is, but the process to assign them, just to show you that, is Eventbrite event created with filters applied. So that looks like this. The event name is St. Patty's Bar Crawl - Cheyenne. So we filter the Cheyenne out. They get assigned to the account Cheyenne. So then every contact is in one of those accounts. Danielle's in Oklahoma City, David's in Scottsdale, James is in Alexandria, et cetera, et cetera. So what this allows us to do is when we combine all this stuff together, is I can send an email out to the entire list and they get the right dynamic fields or right personalization fields for their location. Case in point, this is an automation that has 8 emails in it. This is email 4. There's roughly 280,000 people in this picture right now. I didn't have to send different emails because they live in different cities. I sent them one email, use the account fields to make them see their city. So a lot of people have used like the first name field. Hey, first name, how's it going today kind of thing. You can do a lot more of that with custom fields. The example here, the bar crawl is coming to the city on the date. When somebody in Houston opens that, they're going to see is coming to Houston on March 16th. However, when somebody in Austin opens that, they're going to see Austin. Now, all the St. Patty's are on March 16th, but Halloween might be October 14th, October 21st, October 28th. Might be the dates of Halloween, so we have different events going on in different cities those days. Just a little bit of a side note, but we also send the bars themselves as venues. Information via email. So the traditional usage of accounts is what we do with the venues here. And so they get a similar email to the people that are attending, but you can just see a number of fields that are being sent out. So what does this actually save time on? There's 8 emails in that automation flow I just showed you. There's 117 cities represented with those 280,000 people. That's a total of 936 emails that had to get sent. Would you rather write 8 emails or 936? I know my answer. But you may start to see where the value of this lies. So this is the custom field page for the accounts. I've got the date, the crawl time, the event crawl time, the check-in time, the check-in address, etc. And I mean, you saw the 66 fields earlier. This is just a snippet of those to show you functionally what you could see. So within one account, the city of Alexandria, for example, they have their crawl time, their check-in bar, their check-in time and address, their check-in to bar, check-in to time and address, the location of the mid-party, address of the mid-party, the after-party time, name, and location. Now, we actually collect all this in Airtable and sync it over using Zapier and some scripting, just because it's easier to edit it here. If you had 3 or 4, you could do it all in ActiveCampaign, but when you start scaling that up, it's way easier to have a screen I can work on like this on, and I have to log in and out of every single location account to edit things. So, I mean, again, it was an abstract concept. I hope it made some sense. I'm going to get a little more abstract now, but if you had fuzzy walls, and if you see the utility in this, but you had fuzzy walls and you wanted to use something like a parent that has a kid in grade 2 and grade 4, or I'm going to pull up the college thing again real quick and go college clubs. So you could filter this with the account fields being the specific data you want to pass, but you would filter for tag exists chess club. Is the person in the chess club? Yes. Set their account, send them an email, and then go to the next action. Is the person in the rugby club? Yes or no. Set their account, send that email. And so that email looks like this. So I could say the chess club will be having a special event on Tuesday at whatever time. The rugby club will be having a special event on Wednesday at whatever time. The horse club will be having a special event on Thursday at whatever time. So you can kind of see how that makes this easier to process all these things without having to manually send. Now, this process would send multiple emails at one time. So consider how that would affect your user base as it applies to your use case. Anyway, that kind of covers that. Again, like I said, this is ideal for a hard wall line, but that would be kind of a way to do some blurred lines on it. So thanks for watching. My contact information is right there.
Subscribe to our channel below for more content like this. And to try ActiveCampaign free for 14 days, visit ActiveCampaign.com.